right, welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, guys?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. I figured since Gene's back in Nebraska, I didn't know if he'd be smoking today, so I thought I would step up and fill that void for him.
Whoa,
Just
what
a little
is happening?
I'm in Nebraska, but I'm smoking 0.0. I bought it at the grocery store. There's no THC in it.
What's the point?
He's a
The
legend.
point is, I'm a gifted liar. Anyway, yeah, I'm back in Nebraska. My mom summoned me here because of all my F-bombs on the last podcast, and she's like, "Get here immediately. We're talking." So I hopped right in my Tesla, which got shit on the whole way. I don't know if I sent you guys pictures. Elon is not liked by the birds very much either because they shit all over my Tesla. It's disgusting. But I'm here, and my mom had my little talk. She loves my podcast. She just hates
Oh, nice.
when I start dropping F-bombs just for, I don't know. It's not a fact. It's just, I don't know. It's the way I grew up. I went to an all-boys Jesuit high school. That's how we talked.
Locker room
Dude,
talk.
it's funny that you say that.
Go ahead.
Because I think part of it, I think, is from just working in the NFL too.
Yeah, that's really bad. It's
You
just,
know, dude, it was hard to really, when I had like regular jobs after that, it was really hard to censor myself. You're just so used to it.
It's
And
true.
you know what's really funny? The one term that's I've only heard it used in the NFL, never anywhere else.
Slapdick.
Slapdick?
Or slappy.
Slapdick. Phil Bennett used to say slapdick in college. Yeah, I've got a few guys that used to say slapdick.
Never
I
heard
do
it
not.
anywhere else, but it's a perfect word.
It is kind of a thing. Every off season, I'd go home and they were like, "Wow, you're not in the locker room anymore, man."
Yeah.
Who would tell you?
8 to 10
Burns would
weeks.
tell you? Burns would
Yeah, I would hear some
remind you of your
feedback.
terrible language?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mainly
That's
just
crazy. How long did
F-bombs.
it take you to become normal again?
8 to
Especially
10
being in
weeks.
Utah.
Just enough time to
8 to
leave.
10
Enough time to
weeks.
come back.
Nice. No, it's hard. I probably
I
got
never
away from
lost
it
it,
more
I
when
don't think.
my kids were young. I know I wasn't dropping this kind of F-bombs around my kids, but I don't know, man.
Somebody else was.
Just seems like in the 21st century, in the current state of things, in the current zeitgeist, I don't know. Those F-bombs just seem appropriate the other day, but I'm good now. My mom talked to me.
It's
She
funny though, because
there
you
was a
see them
build
everywhere. I mean, everybody
build
is.
up to that to Tuesday, frankly, and it just pushes people to the point where you're either going to pull your hair out or express yourself with some F-bombs. I mean,
it's not going to stop people from getting kidnapped from off the streets of fucking New York and shit, but
Boston.
yeah,
Boston.
or Boston or wherever. But yeah, it's makes me feel good in the moment, but I know better. You lose the message when you drop too many F-bombs, so
It can
I'm
be
in Nebraska today.
distracting, but
It can be.
I thought it was warranted. Looks like you're going to jump right into this doctoral student from Tufts. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's terrifying that we talked about this on Tuesday, that Trump can just designate you a terrorist and then you're gone. This doctoral student is Rudeness Ozturk. She's 30 years old. And everybody, I'm sure, has seen the video. They just basically came up and accosted her. She asked who they were. One guy, I think, said they were the police. But you can see they have masks on. People were asking why you're not willing to show your face. I'm sorry?
I just said the video is horrifying. It's like watching something out of 1930s Germany.
Yeah, and then they walk her away. You can see they have the numbers. They end up taking her to this police car. So ICE takes her. The court order says that she needs to stay in her city proper, which is in Boston. She was already in Louisiana. She's at an ICE detention center now. I did see today that she did speak with her attorney, which is very American, thankfully. But this guy came out today. Where is he? Mr. Secretary of State. Let me get through all the cosplay people.
They do love their cosplay.
Yeah, this guy, he's a tough guy now. He said they revoked her visa, and no visa, you're no longer here legally. You create a ruckus because apparently she was on campus at a protest.
All she did was she wrote a very low key. I mean, it wasn't radical, it wasn't hateful or anything. Op-ed.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all she did.
Ruckus. Did I
Co-wrote.
say ruckus?
Yeah, terrorist.
But
So-
that being said, the only reason I bring this up, because this is Trump's America. He was separating children in his first term. Everybody in this country knew what this dude was capable of. So none of this is really shocking. The only reason I bring this up is because you're gonna faffle yourself, America. You're gonna find out. Foreign students bring $48 billion of revenue into America every year and create, wait for it, 370,000 American jobs.
Wow.
You people are stupid. You're dumb, and you hired the worst of the worst. All the frat boys I went to high school with that think it's, you're dumb. And I'm not going to drop F-bombs over it, but you just cost yourself about $48 billion and 370,000 jobs when these people stop coming to this country, which is going to happen because they're
Oh, fuck yeah.
terrified of the
They're not even coming to
fucking
visit.
Gestapo. It's ridiculous. You're dumb. He's going to bankrupt this country so fast. He's already taken away your First Amendment right. If you're not a U.S. citizen, apparently he can just snatch you up and fly you to Louisiana.
Yeah.
And he's coming for your guns next. And
She
that's
was here
where
legally.
yeah, of course. So was the Columbia student. That's where I start laughing when they actually start taking your guns. The people you voted for start taking your guns because it was never going to happen under Democrats. They're too chicken shit to even pass the simplest of gun laws. They were never going to do it. But this idiot's going to take your guns. He doesn't like guns. He's going to take your guns, and a whole bunch of us are going to be laughing at you when he does it because as long as he's taking everybody's guns, well. The Second Amendment is interpreted. It's not set in stone. Nobody knows what the fuck it means except for the Supreme Court, apparently. So when he takes them, makes up some excuse for it, he'll say, "You still have a Second Amendment. You just can't own a gun." I'm just letting you all know this is how fascism creeps in, and this dude's doing it in 2 months with the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. Tangeray Pete, my God, what an idiot!
Yeah,
just a. The more and more I read about this guy, oh my
DEI hire.
God.
You know this guy, don't you?
Dana White slaps his wife in public. He wouldn't have hired this guy.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are facts, people.
Yeah. And you talked about jobs and stuff. And I think part of where we're going with that is I'll put these kids up here. We talked about Florida changing their laws. No breaks, lunch breaks for 16 and 17-year-olds. You can work any shift that you want. Now, Trump today has he's cut 90 or 69 global programs that include trafficking children, child labor, and human trafficking in general. It was a $500 million grant. It was supposed to stop child labor, forced labor, and human trafficking, as I said. So it's not really in our national interest to have foreign countries doing this to children. Especially the sex trafficking ends up here. But it's children make up 38% of the human trafficking. So maybe if they end up here, we can put them into factories and such.
Wow.
It's kind of horrifying that we're just withdrawing all this money from around the world. We're really trying to put up these borders. I think we all saw Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday going after a UK reporter who was asking her a simple question. And she said, "Where are you from? We don't care what you think. You have a migrant problem." And then she's like pointing to the next journalist, "You're American. What's your question?" He's like, "Well, answer her question." And she was like, "No."
You know what? You're not American anymore.
You're very un-American.
Yeah.
If you have more than 3 toes on any given foot, you're not American.
You're a
But
newt.
you are allegedly a pipe bomber.
Just Google her feet, man. She got some strange ones.
Allegedly. Well, and the distractions go on. So her attack was on PBS. Apparently, Ernie and Bert living together is a problem.
Causing some heads to spin off.
PBS gets less than 1% of their funding from the federal government. NPR gets what, 16% at most?
Yeah, and they do it in a great way that the smaller stations that need the funding get it. Most of the bigger stations get corporate underwriting. They get
there's a
donations.
firewall between the executives and the board and the reporters. The executives don't come in and set your agenda for you. They don't tell you what to say, what to do. But again, these people are so beta. They're so these, our war fighters, all this cosplay and stuff. Bill and I were talking before this. We started recording about how we've met the Pete Hegseths of the world. He was given an example of meeting a Pete Hegseth. I was given an example. My example of meeting Pete Hegseth, because I went to high school with half these fucking idiots. It just imagine I'd never met Pete Hegseth in my life, and he failed all the way up to defense secretary. He'd come into a bar, order a Beefeater's gin, see me wearing my NFC championship ring, not even the Super Bowl ring, but second place ring. He'd look at me like, "You play football?" Yeah, I almost played a decade in the NFL. I started in the Super Bowl, whatever. And he would look at me after failing upward to defense secretary, and 100% of the time, doesn't matter what job this guy had, would look at me and go, "Yeah, I played a little football in high school. That's pretty good till I hurt my knee." Because everything to them is about quote unquote manhood. And they see me, "Oh, he's got to be a man. All that violence he committed it and how it committed against it." It's like, it's the dumbest shit ever. It's a sport. It's a sport, dummies. We're not out in New Guinea living in, on bare feet trying to survive on like cockroaches and shit like real men do and real women do. It's a sport. But this happens to me almost every time I go out, almost any time anybody finds out I play football. It does not matter how blue collar they are, how white collar they are. If they played football specifically, they will let you. I played a little football. I played a little JUCO, and that hurt my shoulder. It's like, I don't fucking care. What you did in football and what I did in football are two entirely different things.
Yeah.
But to them, that means something. It's this weird manhood shit I've never quite understood. And you don't compare us. You played high school football. It's not the same fucking thing. I don't even know how to explain it. But Rose met those type of people. He had an example of meeting them too. What was your example, dude?
Oh yeah, this is the dude when you first meet him. He's like, "You lift, bro?"
Yeah.
And then his second question is, "How much you bench?"
Exactly. Bench, specifically bench.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's I've met millions of these guys, and it's just it's not a definition of manhood, and neither is being like 5'3" and being a senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley. There's no definition of manhood you could give me that would make me think you're more of a man than me. Are you kidding me, dude? It's like, God, to even define yourself in Western civilization, define manhood when you don't even know, when you couldn't even pick your own fucking tomatoes for more than 15 minutes before you needed shade and a goddamn IV. I mean, it's just they're simple, dude. They're simple. They're the worst of the worst. We got to quit playing these games like, "Hey, Trump's a real man. He'll fix this. Elon Musk is a real man with those." No, dude. He hired a bunch of 19-year-olds. One of them named Big Balls, who's a Russian spy.
Yeah. How about that?
And also ran coverage for a criminal ring as well, allegedly.
Yeah. How come
I'm done defining manhood, but I'm just saying this is the people we're dealing with. The people that will come up to football players in a bar and go, "I played on the ball." I don't care.
And to your point, it's not just men. We got cosplaying women too.
Oh my God. Love her cosplay.
Christy Nome was, and it's a little sketch. Was she down in El Salvador? I mean, look at these guys behind her.
Green screen. That looks like
I'm saying green screen, man.
Yeah, that's totally green.
Well, they kept showing almost like the Matrix, where the one guy on the left like moves his hand to his pants. It was kind of like Speed, where they had it on replay until that woman moved her hand, and then they busted her. But I'm not sure. I don't know why they would prance her out in front. I mean, these are all they're men. They're in prison. And there's a somewhat attractive from behind female. Why are you doing this to these guys? Huh? Most of them probably aren't even deserved to be there. So a little bit crazy.
It's so twisted. Because
how is she qualified for this job, by the way?
It's all about good TV.
How is she qualified for this job?
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
sure. She will be canceling FEMA. I did want to point out that the wildfires are still raging in North Carolina and South Carolina. You probably thought I was going to say California, but once Trump turned on the spigot, it's not a problem anymore. Again, it's just distraction after distraction. She gets to, travel around and look great. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who we just talked about going after PBS and NPR, there were times during the election 2 cycles ago that I felt NPR gave too much voice to the Republicans. I didn't know where they were coming from. So I think we all have a little bit of angst when it's not what you necessarily want to hear, but they do an amazing job. And have done for decades. I mean, do we need Mr. Rogers to come back to the Senate and the House?
I wish.
Amen.
We grew up with PBS.
Exactly.
Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, Electric Company.
For sure. I mean, there's a lot of educational sources through both, and NPR does a great job. They have so many different varieties of shows. And then just to come back, I was going to pull up, we talked about the District of America, which is just like, again, the stupidest distraction, but that woman won't let it go. I mean, Mrs. Boebert just can't say no to annoying nuances that she likes to bring about and talk about. That is not going to happen. It probably shouldn't happen. Why can't I find her? Okay, here she is. Woo.
Oh, God.
And she's very vitriol in her expression.
She looks like a snake.
To the average people. I thought she looked a lot like somebody that I remembered. Maybe you remember who this is.
The angry Edith Prickly.
That is Edith Prickly, who many people love. And
That's awesome.
She was super kind. This lady's not. Here's another example of Edith. I would take her any day over Boebert.
For sure. She was awesome.
So neither of you's gonna mention that she still hasn't brushed her teeth since fucking swallowing Kid Rock's gravy, huh? Okay. Whatever. She's still living high on that fucking rock star moment like she's fucking 17 years old.
It's amazing.
So
dude, these are just such terrible people.
Yeah, it just goes down the line. And just to finish on Hegseth, we have they had a press conference today talking about the Signal Gate, whatever you want to call it. This woman stood up tall and said, Bondi, that there will be no looking into this. And of course, everything has to end with Hillary's emails and servers. It's just so ridiculous. It's so last, year.
It's so blatant.
Last
it's so
decade.
In your face. We're just going to lie to you. And 33% are going to believe it.
Yeah, well, now Trump's calling it a hoax. The whole thing's a hoax. Now, I don't know how it can be a hoax when we've all seen the messages. It's already happened, and now it's a hoax, but you should really thank them because the mission was such a success. Hegseth's laughing. They blew up a building to kill one missile engineer.
Yeah.
And you blew up a whole building. Like, how's that funny?
It was his girlfriend's building, yeah.
It makes
he's
no
a frat
sense.
boy.
He's well, dude, and they sent out emoji texting about, like if I was texting about Cole's hockey game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand.
How about supposed to be serious people?
How about that dude that makes loves the couches and he's the vice president, like all bashing Europe and like bashing.
Oh my God!
Do they remember when we had to invoke Article 5 after we got hit on 9/11 and all those people he's bashing came to our aid? What is it? What is it about this fake manhood? It's like, dude, you allegedly like point couches, like you are not tough. So I don't understand that I'm gonna shit on Europe, dude. Any chick in Ireland would bitch slap you back into fucking reality. I don't know why he thinks he's tough because he grew a beard. He's just a chubby doughboy, big ass pussy marshmallow that went to an Ivy League school, did not grow up in Appalachia. His mom tried to kill him when they were driving the car. He had to jump out of a moving car, move in with his Mima. He got golf lessons. Yeah, exactly, dude. And then goes and shits on a bunch of fucking poor people in the Appalachian Mountains, acting like he's one of them. Why do you guys go to the movies, human beings? Do not vote for these cosplaying central cast and goofy idiots. It's just that I'm baffled. But I also told you guys before we started too, we're all under the assumption that they have 50 plus years experience in any of this and a
Sure.
degree of any sort. Or, I mean, literally, Lauren Boebert was riding short yellow buses and failed out of that, and then failed out of a GED like 4 times until she pulled a Christy Nome, Corey Lewinsky, and then got herself a passing grade.
Dude,
Someone,
she failed trying to get into porn.
look at her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're not
mean,
going to go
my
that route.
God, dude.
I do want to say, though, we're being
I mean,
lectured.
come on, Rob. We want to go that route.
Yeah.
Let's
We're
go
being
that route. 5
lectured.
minutes. Give us 5 minutes in the porn route.
Just
What the
5
fuck?
good minutes.
5 minutes. I'm just kidding, Rob. Go ahead.
I'm only saying this woman comes out every morning and basically lectures the press. She comes from a point of her being all knowing and everybody else is a bunch of dummies. It's literally about praising Trump nonstop.
Yeah.
Our great leader. We should thank him. He did this, that, and the other. It's too much. And it doesn't really help anybody keep their job, collect a paycheck, have health care. I mean, it's all just lip service. And I feel like enough people are kind of catching on to this as we see more jobs being cut. The end game for them, and I'm going to bring this up, I mean, this seemed like a great moment.
Even Hitler was smart enough not to make Eva Braun goddamn press secretary. I mean,
Well,
dude,
no, but he
she wasn't there for her genius, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
He had Joseph Goebbels, who is basically Stephen Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Who should probably be the press secretary is what I'm saying. You make my point exactly.
Yeah, good point.
That guy's so
Ava should be running around with an umbrella, spinning in the sun, and helping Trump wipe his ass, like Ava was helping Hitler with his Parkinson's.
So this was 1965. Looked like a pretty good moment. It had to do with voting rights for all Americans.
Looks like a very political moment to me. I don't know how good it is.
The point is that the signing was going to happen and people were going to get rights to voting. It is a right.
Well, there was going to be a second civil war. Let's be real about these things when we say these things. I mean, this guy's trying to stop the whole thing from blowing up again. That's why he's doing it. Lyndon B. Johnson isn't doing it because he loves black people. Let's just be clear about that.
Sure.
These decisions are made for political reasons, which is the whole point we're talking about when we want to give you nice things. This is politics, man. We're not doing this because, we're some bleeding heart, liberal, progressive, just want everybody to have free love. And, you can marry your puppy. We do this because if we're all in this together, we all have a much, much better life. It's political. It's politics. We're doing it. I'm doing this because I don't want to move to Costa Rica and live in Costa Rica. I grew up in America. I would like to live amongst you people if you're not going to be batshit crazy and erase everything that has to do with Black history. Because it's very troubling I told you, I basically just follow Black Twitter right now, and we're just sitting there going, no, dude, we're done. We are not going to be the tip of the spear of this one. You need to wake up and create your own civil rights movement and your own civil rights moment. Well, and block out all this noise.
And the time is coming because Trump had an executive order. Let me put this guy back up. He created a executive order to require proof of citizenship to vote. Seems like, I'm sure everybody's a citizen that's voting. We already know that the undocumented aren't voting, but they do pay taxes nonetheless. But they're demanding documented proof of citizenship, which is generally a passport. And then the states or the feds can cut funding to any states that don't play ball and enforce these if they're not compliant.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there.
Okay.
He now here's where Trump's smart. Using one of the biggest tools Democrats have always had. How the hell did we have a drinking age that we all ended up on a national drinking age at 21, right when I got to my freshman year of college? It was because Ronald Reagan said, if you do not raise the drinking age across the board, we will give you no stimulus money for your federal highway funds. We will give you no federal highway money. We will not release the funds. That is smart politicking, something Democrats never do. They never do this shit. And remember this moment, because he's going to get away with this shit, by the way, because he can withhold funding. I don't know how, but right now he holds the purse strings. The guy that runs the treasury, signs
Yeah.
the checks. He's the man. So remember that. Remember,
Yeah.
these guys will play. They will use every tool in their toolbox. Next time Democrats want me to come back and vote for them, are you going to use the tools in the toolbox? You had the filibuster, Chuck Schumer. And you said we have to preserve this. We have to preserve this, only not to use the motherfucking thing. And yes, I said motherfucking because I think it's appropriate at that point
Agreed.
because you should have
It's very
used it
appropriate.
at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So use the tools you have in the toolbox. Trump is a moron and he will blow this 9 ways to Sunday for a myriad of reasons, but he will use every tool in his toolbox.
Yeah. Well, and he
Mhm.
continues on with this. He also seeks to block states from accepting mail-in ballots after the election day. So, generally the mail's not always quite on time, though I love my USPS, as long as it's postmarked. That used to be the deal. Now he wants to get rid of that too. So they won't be counting any of the ballots unless you get them there extra early. And we had talked about this on prior episodes, the Save America Act, which was the Safeguard American Vote Eligibility, which was basically to keep women who changed their name from being able to vote. So fewer than half of Americans have a valid passport. So that's a problem right there. Nearly 69 million women have changed their name, and they would also struggle to find documentation to match their legal name to be able to vote. So again, now we're suppressing women, anybody that isn't owning a passport, which looks like about 50%, and 9% of the U.S. voting age, or 21.3 million, don't have proof of citizenship. That's a lot of people that we're no longer counting that could vote. So they're kind of dissecting who they're going to allow to vote, which, to your point, is very smart if you can get away with it. That's why I think people really need to start paying attention to the fact that they're taking away our rights. Not only do you not have health care, not only do you not have civil liberties, now you're not even going to have a say in your government. That's pretty frightening.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking terrifying, and it's settling in fast.
Really fast, faster than I could have ever imagined, frankly.
Yeah, dude, the parallels between us and Germany are they're horrifying. Or even Hungary. This is the same thing they did in Hungary too.
And just to put this face back up, this is what you're getting. Very,
Stop it. You're killing me.
my point is that
Hateful.
you can see that she really is vindictive, hateful, and has an agenda. That's not the kind of leadership that I would.
Hey, Bill, what'd she do in high school? What'd she do in high school?
Oh my God, dude, she ratted out a party that she wasn't invited to. She called the cops.
It's just an extension of her fucking high school self, dude.
And we're going
Oh,
to cut
God.
Social Security, but Trump floated the idea of setting up a compensation fund for the January 6th criminals.
Perfect. Reparations. I love it.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
hugely offensive.
Oh,
But what
fuck.
else is new?
Seriously. This is bad. This is so fucking bad.
That's why I'm laughing. It's like it's laughable.
And here's another part to that I want to include in this before I get to this guy. This is a real issue that we have. Student loans. So we have about 9 million student loan borrowers that they're no longer paying on their loans. This did start under the pandemic. Slowly, they started back up to being able to pay once the economy kind of came back. But they are really going after these people that can't afford to pay off this debt. And we talked about how principal and interest works. You get so far down in it, you're basically paying off your interest. You're not touching principal, and it never leaves you. And these kids are coming out with tremendous debt. So where's the upside for them? Where's the enthusiasm that we're going to find success when you're literally digging out of a hole from day one when you leave college?
Oh my God,
Is this the part where I can say this is on Democrats? This is their fault? You
It's
guys
everybody's
should.
fault. It's
Well,
everybody's
I mean,
fault.
of course it's everybody's fault, but this is one of those things that Democrats just did not work hard enough on. From the Dreamers to shit like this, they did not fight hard enough to get disenfranchised people things they needed. more or less because, we had the Kristen Cinemas and the Joe Manchins in our party that could just put a stop to it at any time.
They did.
Joe Manchin literally stopped the child tax credit because he talked to a few constituents who said, "Oh, no, my daughter, she won't use that on her kids. She'll just buy drugs." Well, yeah, dude, you're from West Virginia, bro. Of course. But what about the other 49 states? Um, it's
Very
out.
short-sighted.
The whole thing is
Mhm.
outrageous that two of our senators have thrown chinks and things we were trying to accomplish that could have been so easy to accomplish, that would have been hard for these Republicans to unravel.
Push
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Look at, for example, look at the shitty Affordable Care Act that Obama loves to tout once a year.
Mhm.
Give me a break on that shit, dude. I mean, it's never been affordable for me. That's all I'm saying. But again, they wrote it so complicated that and I know they got close and John McCain had to come in and give the fuck you to Trump to save it,
Thank
but they
God.
still haven't unraveled it, because if you write these things, they're hard to unravel. But we didn't do anything when we were in charge. We didn't do anything when we were in charge, and now these guys are just dismantling our government like it's not even there, because poof, we didn't do anything. Democrats need to be held. Every Democrat needs to have a primary challenge.
Yeah.
I'm not settling for going, "Oh, do you miss us yet?" It's just not going to
No.
work for me.
It's not
I
going
don't
to
see
work.
how it's going to work for Black Twitter. Um, Dude, I'm surprised they're not looking for apologies at this point. So you go ahead and give those reparations to January 6th uh, victims, quote unquote.
Victims. They're
You'll see Black people learning more about the atrocities you committed and checking out even more and more as he turns this country into a literal white trash shithole, which is what it's
Mhm.
going to be. You're going to be running the show. So
I
there you
just want
go.
to finish on these student loans.
Okay.
So these 9 million students, their credit scores are going to be tanking, right?
Yep.
As they go into delinquency, it's going to hit a record high. And just to kind of point out what happens when your credit score drops, they said anywhere from 75 to 150 points off your credit score. You can't secure a loan. You get a higher interest rate. You have fewer renting options because you can't find housing. Higher car insurance, and fewer employment opportunities. If I'm of that generation coming out of college, where's my enthusiasm to do anything other than want to strangle a politician?
Yeah, that's
Well,
just
go ahead, Bill.
it's unconscionable to do that to your young people.
It is.
This is your future.
It's our growth. These are the people that are going to
Yeah, and you're
bring the
just
next generation
dude,
of
these
this,
people
that,
are
and the
like,
other to
yeah,
keep us
Yeah.
moving forward.
they're like
But
leeches. They're sucking, the blood, the life out of these people.
you guys
These
see
are
it
your
that
replacements.
way.
Yeah.
You guys see it that way, and that was a very eloquent speech you say. But I wanted to jump in and chime and start yelling. You stop right there with credit scores. Why the fuck do they even exist?
Yeah.
They came along in the early 90s or the late 80s, and no other reason than redlining came along. No other reason than racism exists in this
Great
country,
point.
to screw people of color and women out of getting things. We shouldn't even have credit scores. They're just made up by a bunch of white dude racists. I'm sorry, but when you're going, we got to do the credit score, we shouldn't even have them. They shouldn't even exist. So
$45.
when you see it that
Yeah,
way, I get irritated because these things shouldn't even exist.
I
I
They should
agree.
agree.
not even exist.
Well, it's an
So just
excellent
another
point.
barrier. Just another
Mhm.
barrier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, and it puts
So
us in a category, right? Oh, your
of
credit score is
course.
this. I know who you are. And
Mhm.
Of
that's usually
course.
enough. Well,
Infuriating.
you make it
So
harder
that's
to
why
vote.
you saw me laying in bed in that TikTok video, just waiting for that March 15th protest that you're all going to show up at, right? I'll be laying there watching it on CNN, hopefully, because I
I
won't
think
be there.
April 4th is the
Yeah,
next
Oh, okay.
coming
I
up.
didn't even know. Black
that's a
Twitter didn't
Saturday.
even Black Twitter was being very vague on when it was happening, because I don't think Black Twitter gives a shit until they see some energy out of some other folks
It's
to
fair. That's fair enough.
save their own country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get
Bottom
that.
line,
I totally get that.
we built the goddamn thing for you. Now it's your turn to save it. You're welcome.
Yeah, we
Thank
shall
you.
see. White supremacy,
Uh,
my
Oh,
ass.
you don't have to thank me. I'm half Dutch. Half of me was a slave owner, probably. So, but thank the other people.
All right. Well, I'm not going to thank this guy.
This fucking
This
guy.
is Robert Kennedy Jr. They've cut
All
another
right.
10,000 people from Health and Human Services. They've
Mm.
already cut 10,000, so you're looking at 20,000. And this guy's such a genius that in West Texas, they're having children come in because they're getting too much vitamin A, and it's poisoning
Oh,
them.
Lord.
Vitamin A was under this gentleman's instruction because it'll help with the measles. It doesn't seem to be working. But
Jesus.
he's your guy. He's another DEI that wasn't qualified to do the job, kind of like Linda McMahon with our education system, and Kristi Noem with Homeland Security, and Rubio as Secretary of State, and Hegseth with Secretary of Defense. I mean, it goes on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Waltz.
Damaged. They're also damaged and dysfunctional too. My goodness.
Oh, they're the worst people.
I mean, this guy, has he ever seen a shrink after finding out, casually that his dad took a couple bullets to the head? These are traumatic things. Look, you guys lost your dad to cancer, and you guys don't even like to talk about that shit. And I've known you for 30 years because that was a traumatic event in your life that was in your little circle of people. And I don't sit there and try to jump into that shit and try to figure that shit out. Trauma is fucking real. And this guy didn't address any of it. And then he runs around saying stupid shit to feel important. And what he needs is therapy. Like, seriously, I mean, he's a sex addict. He's addicted to fucking steroids and testosterone, it looks like. He's addicted. Something's making it. Yeah, something's making him big.
And
like
red.
that. And it's not raw liver, motherfuckers.
Liver King.
It's just, and he's a kook. He was a heroin addict. It's crazy. Name me any black guy or any woman or any Jewish cat that could have been a heroin addict and just casually talk about it and become cabinet secretary of anything, or shoot puppies and become HHS secretary, or any of the shit that Hegseth's done and become defense secretary and literally squeak by with 50 votes. My goodness. It's incredible. Even dry mouth Rubio isn't qualified for the job. Talking about shipping all these people back left and right. This dude's own grandfather was a goddamn communist. Maybe when I become president, I ship your ass back for his sins. You see what you're talking about, Rubio? It's crazy how you talk like a goddamn Nazi and you're a fucking Cuban. You
Dude,
weirdo.
what do you think they have on that guy?
Small
what do you think made that guy do such a 180?
Small dick, a lot of debt. Probably had some awkward sex with somebody that honeypotted him. It seems like everybody's honeypotted in Washington, because why else would they do the dumbest shit on earth and not ever use common sense to give us things? It's just, oof.
It's crazy.
All right, I'll shut up.
To your point, we talked about the student loan debt and the fact that they're digging out of a hole right away. And my point is that, I want the progress. I want to, move forward as a nation, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing that we're doing, and this whole group is more interested in just going backwards, whether it's about, indentured servants, whatever you want to call it. This is what these guys are all about. But I found it interesting on the environmental side that we're dropping all kinds of standards through the EPA. In 1990, we had the Clean Air Act. The president that brought that about and had it signed was H.W. Bush, a Republican. I think we can all agree that we like clean air. We went through a period where in the 70s where we had acid rain. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, Gene.
Dude, I wrote a paper on it in college.
Yeah.
What was Love Canal? That had something to do with the EPA too, right?
That was toxic waste, right? Wasn't it?
That
ended up a toxic waste dumping ground, and all those. I think that whole neighborhood got cancer.
They deal with super sites where there's massive amounts of pollution. I know Cleveland has had super site cleanups because of the pollution in the river along the shore. They do a lot, is what I'm saying. But go ahead.
Oh my God, it's huge. No, you're absolutely right. We still have them here. I mean, we have an underground fire still going on. It's not that far away.
You have a fucking from a mine, from an old mine?
It's from all the Boeing dumped a bunch of stuff, nuclear waste and such.
You're kidding me.
No.
In Pennsylvania or Missouri?
Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When you guys say from here, I've known you my whole life. You were from Pittsburgh, so
correct. Yeah. I'm still from Pittsburgh, buddy.
Right.
I just live here.
I gotcha.
And not a bad place, but we have several friends that grew up around. It's called Cold Creek, and the amount of cancer that people are getting that used to play in those creeks is off the charts.
Yeah.
So
I had a cancer cluster in my own neighborhood in Richfield, Ohio, where they had an old tree farm, And they
Really?
sprayed all sorts of pesticides. Oh yeah, cancer deaths, brain cancer from my young 30-something-year-old neighbor that she ended up surviving.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
geez.
Richfield in general, all of Melissa's aunts, because she comes from a aunt and uncle situation of like 11.
Jeez.
All the like them and all the kids had some sort of weird cancers because they were Lake Erie swimmers back in the day, and it was probably polluted, so they
For
got
sure.
weird cancers. And all that shit's been since cleaned up because of people like the EPA or organizations like the
Yeah.
EPA.
Yeah, they
So
do a
that's
great job.
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, this guy, Gene Likens, he founded the Institute of Ecosystem Studies. I think I got a couple pictures of him as well. The
Mm.
point is that these were people that, when we respected science and allowed them to do their job, I mean, look, he's got this basic setup. I don't think it was hugely expensive, but he had the drive to make things better. When they found that the streams were too acidic to support fish and amphibians, you're going fishing for what exactly? There's nothing there. I mean, nothing sustainable. It also stripped.
Biodiversity. My daughter talks about it all the time.
We're
Biodiversity and
losing it.
climate change are two sides of the same fucking coin.
Yeah,
So
you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
absolutely.
It also stripped nutrients from the soil, and then the rain itself was damaging plants and trees. We
Mm.
can't live without any of the things I just mentioned. So it's really
Mhm.
short-sighted to think, we're so amazing. We want to go back to the 50s when, women stayed at home. And
Soylent Green is people. We're just gonna grind each other up, turn it into a green powder, and feed it to each other, apparently. So
Oh,
well, what do we do when that's gone? And I will mention this. I just saw this since you brought up sort of timber. The soft timber that we're going to be using is now going to jack up our price for toilet paper. You heard it here first. Go out and get yourself some toilet paper.
better stock up.
Gene, I know you already did.
Nah, I've been talking to you guys about bidets. I was at the world's
Even
largest
better.
truck stop. I told you guys on the way here, I stopped at the world's largest truck stop, and I decided to do a little social science experiment. So I went in there in my shorts and
Oh
my
my
Jesus sandals, and I went straight to Dairy Queen, and I got a large vanilla cone, and I crossed my leg, and I stood right in the middle of Magaville, and I licked it like this. Like real, like sensual, like or sensuous. I don't know which word you use for ice cream. And nobody from Jesse Waters' Fox News camp came over to confront me or bitch slap me or tell
I
me
don't
I was
know.
not being manly. No, nobody. I don't think anybody even looked at me, dude. And I tried to make myself very, very, very visible the way I was looking. I guess I sent you guys a picture of me eating the cone.
Yeah. Oh, it was
So
very sensual.
I would have drank out of a straw too, but I did cross my legs. I crossed them just like Barack Hussein Obama would cross them. And
Yep, that's how I
I licked
cross
that
them.
cone, and I was sitting in a high chair too. I wasn't sitting down low. I was sitting up high. So it took a lot of my core, and my back still hurts from my abs still hurt from trying to keep my leg crossed because I don't have a core anymore, and back surgery. But
Listen,
anyway,
go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm just saying.
I
Nobody
just
came
want
up
to
to
say
me and
that.
said I was being, quote unquote gay for eating an ice cream cone like that. So
Well, and it's one of those things, you played in the league, we worked in the league. It was the guys that really had to prove their manlyhood that were the most beta, right? I mean, we had guys in that locker room. We talk about Zendowski reading a book, always had a paperback with them. Uh,
Dill.
guys didn't have to necessarily prove who they were. And now it's constant that, oh, don't cross your legs, don't eat ice cream in public, don't drink from a straw. What are you saying? Are you just not comfortable in your own manlyhood? Because I'll do all
Don't
the
wear
above,
Jesus sandals.
and I still feel like I am who I am. I don't worry about what your thoughts are.
Hey, bro, I could
Being
dress you
silly.
tomorrow blindfolded. I'm just gonna get your favorite pair of hiking boots, your favorite pair of shorts, t-shirt, and some sort of quarter zip sweater probably, or button up, and you're good to go. You're gonna go play with your four hairs, and that's gonna be your look for the day. And it doesn't matter if it's 30 below or 30 above. Celsius or Fahrenheit. That's how you're going to look for the day. You don't worry about your manhood. That's what's made you comfortable for
It works
55
for you. It's a
years,
good look.
54
Hey,
years. And
yeah.
nothing works for Bill. I mean, look at his hair.
I
And
know.
he had a haircut that was outstanding for like 18 hours, and now what? I don't know what the fuck happened. What happened, Bill? What
I
happened
don't
to
know.
you?
I got to go get a cut again.
I'm messing with you,
Not
dude. I don't
enough
know anything about that.
product, buddy.
But anyway, yeah, it has nothing to do with manhood. You literally elect people not to be men and not to start wars and not to whip their dicks out. You elect them to get things done for you that your people need done, and that it's as simple as that. And
That's right.
we've lost that message. We've lost that mission statement. I don't know what we, and it's just all about personally enriching yourself and getting your 15 minutes, Lauren Boebert. There's no other reason you're doing this. You're not a serious legislator.
Politician, he is
You're not a
not. No,
serious
not a
anything.
legislator.
It's all a
A
joke.
serious, hateful person.
Yes.
So, when you sit there and you swoon over Kid Rock's chinless, gross, beta, nasty suburban ass, because he grew up in the suburbs, he's not hard,
Yeah.
especially after you saw him shoot at Bud Light cans and miss
Ooh, that was hot.
90% of the time. Oh my God, dude. And you still went for that stuff? Come on, man. By the way, Bobert, he'll be in Detroit, or no, he'll be in Michigan this summer with Nickelback. I don't know who's opening for
Ooh.
who, but shame on you, Nickelback. I used to defend you, and I will not defend the fact that you were playing a concert with Kid Rock and it's called Freedom Concert or some shit. I don't know. It's in
Oh my
Michigan.
God.
Michigan's a weird place. Near one of those militia spots. My prom date invited me. She lives in Michigan. She said, "You want to go to this show? Because we're trying to get together for a concert or something, maybe do some camping or RVing since we've reconnected over the last few years."
Oh
And
yeah.
I basically said, "I'm not going anywhere where I'm the only black guy. Are you insane?" So
Deep into the woods.
and she's like, "That's fair." And the next thing she sent me was a reggae a reggae festival right after the Kid Rock festival. So we're all over the map in Michigan. It's a strange place. That's
That's
pretty funny
awesome.
though. Yeah.
I wanted to jump to, we had one of our listeners ask real quick about Luigi and how things are going with him.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, I'm starting to lose it here. Gosh dang
He's
it.
bankrolled, right? He has the money at least, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's got the money. He's looking for a laptop. They're kind of trying to play hardball with him. I did see that somebody gave him a pair of socks. I think we're losing his head here. Yeah, that's no good. He was given a pair of socks, and they put some well wishes inside the socks. That was found by the authorities. So they're trying to keep this guy offline. Generally, most people will have access to a computer just so they can go over their case and such.
Mhm.
I guess Luigi's a different beast. I don't know why, but he does still have the support of the people until we find out exactly, what he's charged with, why he's going to be charged as a terrorist, and how they're going to go about bringing that about. Because I just don't see it.
And those photos don't even look like him, quite frankly. So if that's your evidence, that's not good enough. So
Mhm.
Well, and let's go back real briefly, but like he left the backpack, he's sitting in McDonald's, there's stuff in the backpack. I mean, this wasn't a stupid kid, and
Yeah.
it seems unrealistic that that this is how it went down. And I don't trust anybody anyway. I mean, come on, you're lying to me constantly.
Mhm.
I mean, the signal gate's now a witch hunt. Witch
Yeah.
hunt.
Hoax.
We're just going to get out the same shit. Hoax, witch hunt, failing publication, bunch of losers.
I
flip
mean,
floppers.
yeah. You're
Come up with
you're
that,
just
whatever they
flailing
say to you.
now.
Just sounds like the woke mind virus to me. If you think that wasn't not classified information, just say it to them. Just idiots. They're just idiots.
Unbelievable.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
it's just insane. It's fucking straight out of idiocracy.
It is.
That's
It's
why
crazy.
I smoke weed, Bill. That's why you eat gummies, because
Yeah.
I mean, dude, come on, man. Imagine
It's
if the
too much.
whole country smoked weed. We would be number one in everything.
Mhm.
We'd
Well,
have our shit together, man.
instead we're pulling up the borders. We don't want anybody here. We don't need Canada for anything, is what Trump.
Because we're
continues to say.
drinkers, Rob. We're not smokers. We're drinkers in this country. We got a bunch of Gen X and Boomer dickheads drinking their Beefeaters gin and, in RFK's case, shooting heroin, uh, telling us what to do and, let's overdose on vitamin A. This guy killed a bunch of fucking Samoans, telling them not to get vaccinated for the measles. He's got a track record of killing people.
RFK Jr.
Trump's got
Yeah.
RFK. I'm sorry, RFK Jr. Trump's got a track record of killing people with the ivermectin and the bleach and light campaign up your
Yeah.
arse.
Insane.
I can't believe you guys fall for this. But again, I have to remind ourselves we're 350 somethings that have experienced the full spectrum from analog to digital. Like the bridge that's there, not everybody's going to see it our way. Some people were just born all analog, don't get it. I'm sorry, boomers, you still can't do tech. And some people were born all digital. And here we sit trying to, I don't know, help these people figure it out. But again, I'll just follow Black Twitter and let you know if they're gonna get out of bed and come to the barbecue. Because right now, we're just sitting around waiting for these feckless politicians to do something, waiting for Chuck Schumer to resign because, oh my God, Chuck Schumer, please go away.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
so
We
these
will
are things
win.
we need to
Oh
see
God, that was
if there's
embarrassing.
any hope for that party. And there are younger people, and I can't even name their names, that are going, man, we need new leadership. We need our generation to take over. And they've bypassed Gen X. I mean, these are millennials, these are Gen Zers. It's
Mhm.
crazy to see, but you think you're going to see that on mainstream media? They're drowning these voices out. They are screaming, give me the mic, give me the mic. And they won't give them the mic. So,
Well, and if we can, if we don't have to be the person necessarily in the White House chair, but Gen X is certainly here to support at least the progressive ones that do
Mhm.
like democracy and aren't just stacking their cash, are here to help to use our public educations for some of us that have this 50 years of experience to kind of move forward. I mean, otherwise we're dead in the water, man, because these guys have no use for us other than to cut some grass, maybe do some roofing. And I don't want to live in a country that's all white. There's nothing
Mhm.
there for me. I'm sorry. And no offense
Yeah.
to
that's
white
called,
people.
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
one
there'll be
myself.
black people
God,
here.
yeah.
You don't want to live in an apartheid state,
Correct.
where,
I mean, we're taking away
not,
funding from South Africa because we feel like the farmers aren't being fair to white people.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even make that up.
No, it's
you can't make up the fact that Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro make a living off the backs of these incels giving them money off their massive disinformation.
And where are they
And
getting
so,
money from? They're getting money from Russia,
yeah, of course.
Mhm.
bankrolled by
Tim
Russia all
Tim
through that
Pool,
election.
yeah, all those guys, yeah, absolutely. Russia
Hegseth
will.
has a Russian email and a phone number. How does
Does
that
he
work?
really?
Yes.
What are you talking about? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it came out today. It's he's got an RU email, and then they
The
dug a
fuck
little
out.
bit deeper, and he's got a phone number, a Russian phone
Wow.
number. Now he'll probably tell
What?
you it's like some kind of spy thing where he's just duping them.
I buy vodka direct, bro. I buy Smirnoff direct. What am I gonna do? It's half the price. I don't want to pay the import export fees. I'm an importer exporter. Strictly vodka. So, come on, man. Really,
That'd be
dude? A
great.
Russian?
Uh,
Wow, dude. These people are so compromised.
Absolutely.
Already, China and Russia has all of our secrets.
Yeah.
mhm.
Whatever F-47 they're making, China's already started making the F-57 because they already have our secrets. That's how dumb this group of individuals is. We're giving away the goat. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know whether to laugh or cry about it because quite frankly, just watching the way this shit's been going down my whole life, I'm tired of it. A certain group of people doing their own thing needs to hit rock bottom, and then we just need to bounce back up
Well,
because
and you can't even be mad at our adversaries because, frankly, we spy on all their shit too. It's just we're so behind the curve at this point that we
Yeah.
can't keep up. And none of this stuff was encrypted. So yeah, they're going to say, "Oh, you said it was war notes. It wasn't war. It was attack." Now you say they were classified. They weren't classified. You're literally giving away all kinds of information and your contact information. They had that guy's Venmo info. They had people sign
Yeah.
in and passwords. The
Yeah.
Russians are good at this. And if you think the Russians are good at this because you hear about it, China's got to be even better because
Mhm.
give me a break. And nobody's coming over here to steal our whatever. We're giving it to them because we're so smart and so masculine that we don't worry about those people. Well, you really should because you're
all
fucking
right, we got to
yourself.
take a bet then. We got to take a bet. What is going to be? Let's come up with a scenario. What's going to bring Pete Hegseth down? Because obviously Trump loves this guy too much. This little scandal isn't going to bring him
He
down.
even said it
Is it
wasn't
going to
his
be
fault.
is it going to be inappropriate, like
Touching.
insubordination with a touching at the Pentagon with some female general, or is it going to be some drunk? He was at the Monsters Marines ball or something wasted off his ass incident. Which is it going to be alcohol or is it going to be sexual? What do you think? Because Signal's not going to bring him down. What do you think?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Been married
Alcohol's
3
definitely going to be
times.
involved.
Got
I was gonna
7
say
little
maybe a little bit of
Aryan
both.
babies. Dude, he's already been. Did you hear some of that testimony about how he had to get pulled off of a stage at a goddamn Fox News event at a strip bar because he was trying to climb up on the stage and touch the lady, and they had to pull him. His boss was there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just like a disaster. And he sat there the whole time. He sat there. Senator Anonymous sources didn't happen. And the senator's literally like, not anonymous. We're telling you who's saying it. Like he's like, anonymous didn't happen. Anonymous. He's like, not anonymous. This dude doesn't even know what anonymous means, and he's the defense secretary. And you wonder why he's on Signal and WhatsApp. He's gonna get honeypotted so quick.
And
Oh
I
my
think
God.
everybody saw him at the axe throwing when he was working for Fox.
Oh, and he almost
nearly
killed
that
somebody?
cameraman.
And he was not sober then.
I
for
knew
God's
that was
sakes.
There's no way. Yeah,
he
he
was
couldn't have
not
been.
sober then. So
No.
and he's all like
Jesus.
this. This is what drunk people do when they almost kill someone. That's exactly what he did. He's like, yikes, like that. Because he was so wasted. I'm telling you, dude. So that's your warrior culture or your war fighter right there.
Oh yeah. Dude,
know,
I
right?
think, and I hate to say it, I think the only thing that could bring this guy down is going to be him making a really horrible decision and getting a bunch of people killed.
Getting Americans killed.
Yeah.
Probably so.
That could bring him down pretty quick.
He killed what? He killed an engineer in Yemen and a whole bunch of innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
So he killed an engineer at the engineer's girlfriend's apartment building.
Yeah.
Right.
And killed a whole bunch, and they're emojiing it and high-fiving it on Signal. Yeah,
Yep.
you're probably right. It will be he gets an American pilot shot down, or yeah, you're right. It'll probably be that type of scandal because they all freaked out when 13 soldiers got killed when we were leaving Afghanistan on Trump's orders.
On
By
Trump's
the way,
orders, yeah.
they never mentioned that part that Trump demanded this, and Biden fulfilled the orders. He didn't
He had to.
cancel your Führer's orders. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they don't want to mention that part. They just want to Benghazi it. Benghazi.
Oh my God.
We may
And
be
her
having the
emails.
next Benghazi because we had 4 missing U.S. soldiers in Lithuania. It was on the border of Belarus.
Oh yeah.
They did find their ATV vehicle submerged in water. They had to drain some of the swamp to be able to pull it out. Ironic,
Wow.
draining the swamp.
Yeah.
They were not in
Wow.
that vehicle. And yesterday it was reported through NATO that they did find these 4 soldiers had deceased. Today,
Wow.
they asked Trump about it. He knew nothing about it, which is amazing that I have more background and information than the leader of the free world who's supposed to really care about these troops.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Today
It's
they
Golf Day,
tried
baby.
to back out and say that they haven't found him yet. I did see some interviews of the Lithuanian army because it's a joint thing. It's not just like there's Americans there. They are integrated. They work on different. They practice different tactics and stuff. They're part of that army, however you want to phrase it. It's not us and them. They're a unit. So the Lithuanians seemed a lot more concerned, their army, to find these guys. And that's what they're trying to do more so than Trump, who really had no idea. So we'll see. Maybe the U.S. media is pushing back. I know somebody reported Al Jazeera said that they were found and they were deceased, which is a sad event. But my point is,
Al Jazeera also broke the HGH story on Peyton Manning, and everyone discredited that shit except for me. Because they're a legitimate news organization.
They are.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
are.
So yes,
Al Jazeera, the
I
Guardian.
would take Al Jazeera
Independent.
shit to the bank. They're no more propagandistic than any other news organization. So don't even go there. Like just
For
because
sure.
they're because they're owned in Qatar by a bunch of Muslims, somehow it makes it extra. You remember William Randolph Hearst, right? Motherfuckers, don't play games with me like news people don't do shit. And Jeff Bezos, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, and I keep coming back to Eugene. I feel like this is a great time for the networks to actually start doing their journalistic duties. Can we get back to that? What are they going to do? Keep kicking people out of the press room until you have nobody? You're already trying to run up the foreign press. I'm sorry?
Until it's just a completely compliant, press
Yeah, it's
crew,
going to be
handpicked.
a government.
They're going to
news
give a
source.
press credential to the dude from motorcyclemagazine.com someday, and because they're running out of actually legit fucking people to give it to. I mean, they don't have enough
Well,
fake
and
Newsmaxes and shit.
Seriously.
yeah.
So
My
bad.
goodness.
Yeah, and it goes around. Just to circle back, Voice of America is another thing that Trump thinks is so terrible and wants to shut it down. Where basically it's our ability as the United States to put news that we want to share with the rest of the world, generally positive news, so that they have some kind of knowledge of where we're coming from, what we're doing, type of thing. And to shut that down, again, we're pulling up our borders. And we just want to stay amongst ourselves. That's not a thing.
No,
I mean,
that's
this is a
terrible.
world economy. I know you want to say globalist, which just means Jewish people, but it's a world economy. We're all in this.
Yeah, that's code, and that's another
Mhm.
thing reporters need to start doing is deciphering the ciphers and the codes that these
It's
people
not
come
hard
up
to
with.
do.
It's not hard to.
Yeah.
It's not hard to say.
Honestly.
It's not hard to say. And when they say DEI, they just want to say the N word, and then just bring up Atwater, Lee Atwater, and explain the history of Lee Atwater or Karl Rove and how this or the Southern strategy. All you have to do is explain it to them like they're a fourth grader, and they'll get it. But we forget all the shit and all the systems they put in place to do all this to us. And yeah, I see Lee Atwater down there in hell apologizing
Troubling.
with that mushed up brain cancer, going, "I'm sorry for everything I did."
Yeah,
But
fuck that
you
guy.
planted a terrible seed, and this is and every time we have a Republican come into power, it's just a new Southern strategy. It's just some bullshit. Trump has done that symbolism bullshit too. He's gone and given
Oh, yeah.
speeches in the most Klan area of the country and shit like that.
Well,
So
where did Reagan start his campaign, Uncle Bill?
Philadelphia, Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
and what happened there, Bill?
Where the civil rights kids were murdered.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And what
Mississippi
races were
burning.
they, Bill?
There was a black kid and 2 white kids, right?
They were Jewish kids.
I think 2. I know one of them was. Were they both
Warner
Jewish
was a
kids?
Jewish kid, right? Weren't they worth? They were Jewish kids, I believe. So
I knew one of them was Andrew Goodwin, I think was his name.
oh, okay. I thought I made the assumption they were both Jewish kids, but I'm just saying
Nonetheless.
that's who here's the people putting skin in the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not your Anglican Pete Hegseth looking Aryan looking motherfucker. So when you start bitching at all these civil rights people, going, "Where are you? Why aren't you out in the streets right now? Why aren't you doing all this stuff?"
Your
Man,
turn.
we did all that stuff and ended up in Philadelphia, Mississippi, getting bullets in our head and thrown in swamps.
Well,
And
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that even looking back at like the immigration policy, I saw footage of a debate. It was Reagan and H.W. Bush. They were in Houston and they were asking about the immigration problem. And even H.W., who he's no saint, CIA, a lot of dirt on him. But point being, when they talked about people coming to this country, they were welcoming. This was the GOP. They were like, we need to find a place for these people. I have a Mexican in my family, is what HW said. And then Reagan, the same thing. Like, you're not going to turn these people away. We need workers to come into this country.
We even gave that Mexicano my name.
That's right. So all I'm saying is it changes on a dime. We support immigration. We need immigration reform, sure. But to kick everybody out, haul people off the streets without due process is very un-American and Nazi-esque.
First, Fifth, and 14th Amendments, he's just fucking taking a big shit on him, just taking his diaper off and dumping the dew all over. And the second's coming. I keep trying to warn you people. The Second Amendment's coming for you people. You voted for this guy. And when that shit happens, I think the three of us are probably going to start giggling, going, "Oh my God, now they're going to get it. Oh my God, now they're going to get upset because they invested $11 million in their gun collections. And they're going bye-bye." So just so you know, that's how fascism works, dude.
Yeah.
And if you do get to keep your gun, he's going to give you a uniform and put you on the front line and go make you fight Iran
or make you part of his own little private army, his little private SS.
Well, they're really looking for that too. The CEOs have a real shortage, so we need
dude, that's pretty scary.
willing to do whatever.
What
And,
are they
FBI
gonna do
agents
when
for
the first
hire.
head of security clips one of them and takes all their shit? I can't wait. I'm here for it, dude. I hate,
Yeah.
dude, tax the rich. First of all, if you tax the rich properly, they'll be happier because they're contributing and they're being patriotic. They don't realize it. It's all subliminal and it'll all happen, I guess through osmosis. I don't fucking know. But they're miserable. They're miserable
They
human
are.
beings. They're some of the most miserable, lack of sleep human beings you could possibly be on earth. And the only reason they're playing this game is because they're so freaking bored, they're so miserable, and it just becomes some weird billionaire competition. And I'm not here for any of it. I don't care that the head of security whacks any of these fucking mofos.
me
I
too.
want them gone, I want them gone, or tax the shit out of them so they can find happiness. Truly, they will find happiness if you start taxing them. And their kids will find happiness too. Because when have you ever met a happy Nepo baby billionaire? Oh my God, they are the worst.
They won't
Are
even
you
talk to
kidding
me.
me? So I'm just saying, man, tax the rich, eat the rich.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it all day long.
Well, and we
There are
talked
no
about
good
what that would
billionaires.
bring
No,
in.
there
I
aren't.
mean, it would solve a lot of problems with for everybody, homeless veterans, people in poverty. Just
Yeah.
pay your share. That's all we're asking.
Dude,
'Cause
it's
we
money they
are.
won't even miss. When you're that wealthy, you're generating money all the time anyway. You're not going to miss that. That's like,
You're
you're not
absolutely
even
right.
writing the check. It's all taken care of. It's covered. No worries.
Hate to bring this up, but I did just see that Trump's rating is plunging with baby boomers, and it's not because they're great people. It's because they're worried about their Medicare.
Yeah.
And
So,
Medicaid.
sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. I know you're gonna listen to this show. You're great. You're a great boomer, but the
Yeah.
rest of them, they're shit.
It's the rest of them.
I think you know my point, though. They're now starting to worry about their health care
Mhm.
because they don't have that governmental health care. So I feel like, we'll see how it goes for you. But now he's bottoming out. Like, where were you 7 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Gosh,
I
it's
know, right?
unbelievable.
7 weeks ago, Cubans had special immigration status. Trump pulled that from them. Where were they? I'm
The
just,
Venezuelans,
let's
Nicaraguans.
let's be
Absolutely.
that the Haitians. Let's be real.
That red
This
hat did
guy.
not help.
If you do not have $10 million or more, Trump's
You're in
IRS
trouble.
ain't gonna mess with you. Trump's government isn't gonna mess. I mean, they're gonna whatever happens to you happens to you. Let them eat cake, I guess.
That's
Who's this
right.
guy?
And it's not yummy cake, as we
No.
talked
Yeah.
about.
Who's
I
that?
wanted to bring this up. This was my happy ending. This is Mayor James
Okay.
Malone. There was a
All right.
special election in Lancaster, PA, very red hat territory. In fact, this is the first time in history, this is a Democrat who won that seat. In that
wow.
county, Trump took it in this past election by 16 points. This guy won by 462 votes. The turnout at the general election was 92,000 people. For this special election was 54,000 people. But hey, the Democrats just took a seat. So hopefully that's more of that to come. Would be nice. This was very surprising. As a person from Pennsylvania, that area is not a place that me and Uncle Bill would be super safe in after.
Did Chuck Schumer jump in and hold a press conference and go, "I win Democratic seats"?
No, thankfully he had nothing to say.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they
guy.
carted him away, so you won't be seeing him either. But this guy just came out, and it's more about, hey, we've got problems, and the people that came out to vote are just strongly against Trump and his policies. I can't stress that enough, that people are finally waking up to the fact that you're not in the club. None of us are in this club, and they're prepared now to step up, at least by voting. And I think that's part of why Trump's pushing this agenda to really take away our ability to vote.
Yeah.
At least make it a lot harder. And his people are always going to get the pass. So they will show up to vote. But I think the Republicans are starting to see this is the direction we're going in, and it's good for nobody.
Yeah.
So that was
Oh
my
my
happy
God.
ending. Big victory. We got a couple more to go. There's 2 in Florida that have to be taken care of as well. But I think the Floridians, as they're seeing home prices plummet because people are trying to get the hell out of there, may want to get engaged to this as well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Who's going to provide the insurance for the suckers that are going to buy their homes?
They don't have it already. You can't get insurance down there because of it.
And now there's no FEMA.
Yeah, now there's no FEMA. I mean, it's
I remember.
incredible.
Hey, look, and it's weird, but let's go back to Hurricane Andrew and 1992, and when that Category 5 through, and I'm drinking my 12 pack of Coors Lights with my two cats and watching my roof blow off in Plantation, Florida. Uh, After all that shit went down, nothing was drivable in Florida. Every palm tree. I just happened to have a Jeep, so I could 4x4 over people's lawns and run over mailboxes and shit. I'm sure the statute of limitations is up. And I drove around. It was a disaster in Plantation, Florida. And then they shipped all the Dolphins players off to Tent City in Homestead, Florida, where FEMA had set up food, shelter, tents. And we were just down there to pass out cheap T-shirts like they were, from Nicaragua, and someone had, lost to the Super Bowl, but it said they won, and they were, giving away the shirts, those type of shirts and
Atlanta,
shit.
Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, exactly. We were giving away those type of shirts. Swear to God. But FEMA was there, dude. There was a military presence, all these green tents, all this National Guard. That was all FEMA and your military and your National Guard. We need things besides war fighters. We need these
Warriors.
people doing things.
Woo.
It was crazy, this operation. Dude, it looked like a war zone. I've never seen anything like that to this day. Homestead, Florida, driving down there and just seeing how wrecked it was. It was just
FEMA's there within
flattened.
12 hours. And they
Right.
come in, they make sure you have access to water. They make sure that the
Right.
roads are passable. You can't do anything until they start clearing away the destruction, which is what they come out and do. They do an amazing job. I mean, Trump's whole thing was that, somebody from the federal government comes out, they don't even know where to get around town and stuff. It's just such a non-starter. That's such crap.
Well, when you ask me
always-
why I'm okay with paying Bill Clinton taxes when I played, it's because Bill Clinton set fucking FEMA down during the worst times of a fucking group of Americans' lives when they fucking needed it. It could have easily been me because I'm like 50 miles north of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
And I might have
yeah.
needed the 10. My structure happened to hold up. That's why I was okay with paying Bill Clinton's taxes, because he was doing stuff like that. And then you idiots elect George Bush, and he puts in the equestrian president of, you're doing a
Brownie.
great job there, Brownie.
Yeah.
Heck of a
And
job, Brownie.
people's bodies are floating and
Oh my God,
bloated in
yeah.
100-degree heat past the Superdome. That's the There's a difference in the parties, people.
Yeah.
We've been trying to tell you that for 100 freaking years, and you don't want to believe that shit. Now all of a sudden, boomers are butthurt and don't like Trump. Duh.
Because
Yeah.
it's coming after their health care. If they weren't worried about that, they still wouldn't care.
Paying taxes is patriotic. Pay your
is.
fucking taxes,
It is.
want to pay your taxes, want to tax the rich, and want to get things. We'll never see a tent city again the way we've kicked this can down the road and we've destroyed these programs and FEMA. And, dude, it's just insane. And by the way, Democrats, you want my vote? You better fast track some shit. They know how to dismantle shit fast. You better put this shit back together fast, or you haven't hit rock bottom. You're full of shit. I'm not buying it. I'm just saying, dude, I'm never letting up on the Democrats. I voted for that party loyally my whole life from 18 on. I probably missed one vote, one president, maybe. And a few congressional votes, because who votes in an off year? But I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm just saying. But definitely since I've been retired, so definitely since halfway through my playing career, I have voted in every election I could vote in, whether it be absentee or showing up in person. And it has always been pulling a lever for D, thinking you guys were going to do the things I thought you were going to do. Now you're going to have to do it, or you're never going to be in charge again. No one's ever going to vote for your milquetoast bullshit. We're not going to give you health care. This two-party system bullshit again. You're going to have to start giving people stuff. It's as simple as that.
And how many times did you hear, people died for your right to vote? Get off your butt and get out there and vote. I'm not saying you got to vote Democrat. Vote for the party that's going to give you stuff. And I guarantee it's not the GOP, because they're just
they're big on taking.
They never have. They just run deficits. You looked at the history of all the deficits that ever been run. They're all been run by Republicans, except for like one. So.
And I don't appreciate them blasting FEMA. I think they come out and do a fantastic job. And even in Asheville, before Trump got in there, they were there immediately. They took care of a lot of people. The only people that they weren't able to take care of were the people in the red hats that thought they were Satan. So they got nothing.
I mean, they didn't even ask. They didn't even ask.
You got to ask if you want some stuff. And they
Dude,
were there for him, but they
you
treated
are in
him
a
like
cult.
crap, just like we treat everybody else around the world, like we know everything. And you're not going to be very educated, and you're not going to progress as a person if you don't listen to other people's opinions, thoughts, and feelings. So
Yeah.
here we are. We are coming up against it. Uncle Bill, I'm going to need your happy ending.
Oh, I actually have one. This didn't happen today. This happened
Yeah, that
what?
gummy kicked in, motherfucker. You're slurring like a
Yeah.
bitch. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking about this yesterday because I was driving and I let during the course of my drive, I let two people cut in front of me, let them in, and I got two waves. That's
Wow.
unprecedented. I haven't had anybody wave back when I've let them in forever.
Did you
So
feel
that
it in
was
your guttal region or your nuttal region? Where'd the feel good feel good?
Maybe your chest area.
in the
Where's the
chest. Yeah, warm and
endorphins? Oh,
fuzzy in the
in the
chest.
chest area. I always get mine in my sack. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, that feels good. My nuts.
Well, it is nice. We lack a lot of common
You
courtesy
hardly ever
to
see it.
other.
How hard is this?
I mean,
It's
it's not.
very
I'd
easy.
even take this, buddy.
You know how
Yeah.
many
Oh,
times
hell
I've
yeah.
said you're welcome to some idiot that didn't thank me for letting them in the last 30 years? Like, you're
Wow.
welcome. I'm not a honker. It's just like, you're welcome. Jeez.
Yeah.
You
I'm a
For
know?
honk,
sure.
man. That's a shot.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good happy ending, dude. Do I have to give
Nice.
you one now? Mine's a little strange.
I'm ready for you, Gene.
Okay, well, it's quick. I'm really happy about the weather for the next few days in Omaha. I'm happy about my mom's health. New hip, new year, knee inside a calendar year is no joke
Yeah.
for someone that's 20 years older than me. Sorry, Mama aged you out. You, anyway, I'm happy about the weather, and I'm really, really happy that my Elan mobile got shit on by birds today.
I won't be
Like,
washing that thing.
no, dude, there's shit. I sent you guys the pictures. There's
It was bad.
bird shit
Yeah. Oh my
all
God. Yeah.
over my. I was like, oh my God, these motherfuckers don't even like this little Nazi apartheid loving bastard. You know,
It's understandable.
diplomatic immunity. No, dude. That dude took a 357 in the head. Shut up, Elon. Anyway, I don't plan on washing it off. I do need to go charge my car. And I'm not gonna stereotype anybody, but I saw another Tesla charging in Omaha yesterday, and it was a big chubby Asian guy. So far in the 10 Tesla Cybertrucks I've seen, 8 of them have been fat Asian guys. Two,
Really?
two of yeah,
Too white.
two of them were skinny Asian guys. Those were the ones at the hotel. The one where I was gonna say, I had to pull the gun out and go.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think their mom owned the hotel. Those two
They didn't
South
know where to find
Asians, they
anything.
were very thin, and I did no harm. Pam Bondi has warned me, do not touch the Elon mobile. But what's she gonna do about the birds? The birds
Can't.
are
Me
making me
too.
very
Don't touch
happy.
the birds.
So
The birds
everybody out
know.
there,
The
don't do
windmills
violence
will take care
against.
of the birds. Don't worry, Gene.
And I'm sorry for stereotyping those Asians and the Cybertruck. It's just I find it super. It's just the social
It
scientist
does seem
buried
to
in
be
my
a
head.
trend there, a
They're
pattern.
legitimate. They're legitimate statistics. I have not seen anybody so far in the 10 Cybertrucks I've seen. They've all been Asian, 8 fat, 2 thin. And so it is what it is. And again, it's really seeing 9 Cybertrucks. 2 of the guys were together. The skinny Asians were together. So I'm counting them twice. That's wrong. That's racist. I apologize.
Well,
It's 9 Cybertrucks and 10 Asian guys. That's it. It's in Kentucky, in Ohio, in Nebraska. Um, what other states have I been in recently that I've seen this? Anyway, it's just it charging randomly on I-80, just someone walking to the side, which I'm like, oh my God, it's another Asian guy. Like, what the hell is going on?
Crazy. I'm gonna have to
Uh,
start looking. I only have
yeah,
so
seen one, and he was an older white guy.
so
I haven't seen
so when
many.
anybody stereotypes an Asian guy or Asian people say they can't drive, bro, you need a skill set to drive a Cybertruck and not wreck it. Those are pieces of shit. So
Mhm.
clearly, fat Asian guys can drive because they're driving the biggest thing on the road. Remember those goddamn Hummers were on the road back in the day,
Oh,
the H1s, and they were
the
too wide for the
giant
roads.
ones.
Vinny Testaverde
Oh
got 2
yeah.
tickets in Ohio driving down the highway for. He would always get pulled over in his H1 because it was too wide for the fucking lane, and he would get tickets.
Unbelievable.
It was just like he was the only guy I knew that owned a Hummer. I don't
Uh,
know Arnold Schwarzenegger personally, but anyway, I'm just happy about the bird poop. Train birds to shit on Teslas. That's all I'm
yeah. There you
saying.
go.
Well, and just to, I just wanted to add that the Luigi came from a question from Vern, one of
great.
our best listeners. So I just wanted to give a
Hey,
shout
Vern.
out.
Sorry about all the F words, Vern. I've gotten a good reprimanding from my Dutch mother. There will be soap in my mouth later today.
That's
So-
right. Well,
Vern
that is
doesn't mind a few
happy.
F-bombs.
And
Vern's
thanks
cool.
for listening, Vern. I always hear your name popping up. Thanks for being an active listener. Don't
Absolutely.
think I'm not paying attention. I am paying attention. I do want listeners. I don't want to drop so many
We
F-bombs.
do.
Everybody drops me. So
We want
Sometimes they just fly
I
out.
did I do okay today, Rob?
You did
I
great.
do better?
Yeah.
Are you
you did
sure?
awesome. And we want
Fantastic.
feedback.
Okay. All right.
Listen, subscribe, comment. We're here for you. So let's keep
Follow
that
our
rolling.
Blue Sky. Follow our
Blue Sky's
Twitter
been a huge
page.
disappointment.
That's right.
Hugely
What do you mean?
disappointing.
Oh, you haven't got enough hits
I don't think
on
we've gotten anything off that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Gino, Saturday okay?
Yeah, Saturday's fine. Rose, wear a thong. Have Rob take a few pictures. Put it up in the Gen X website and get us some traffic, bro.
All right, we'll work on that.
We might lose subscribers.
You're a sexy, almost boomer dude. I'm just saying.
Not a boomer.
So,
All right, fellas. On
All right,
that
man.
note,
buy
I'll
a
see you-
banana hammock, man. Buy a banana hammock.
I had
All
one
right,
when
I'll
I
see
was
you guys
12
Saturday.
when I was a fat kid.
Do me a favor. Let me know what our happy categories are going to be Saturday.
Okay.
Don't leave me. I don't want to wing it.
that's fine.
I'm an emotional wreck here. It's going to rain all day tomorrow night. It's going to make me sad. The rain's coming.
I will
All
let
right.
you know as soon as I know.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
did
Well,
great
it
today.
can be anything. All right. Well, I'm working on it, man. And my mom, I'm going to go in there. She didn't listen per se. When are you going to put this up? In a few hours? A couple hours?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right. When she listens to it, I'm going to see if I can get that soap canceled out of my mouth.
Well, good
All right.
luck, Gene.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right, fellas.
Good talking to you
All right.
guys.
Peace.
See you
All
later.
right. Take care.